Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is George Amane, and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime and all things manga, and I'm here today to talk about My Dress Up Darling Season 2, Episode 3. So, what do I think about this week's episode? To be quite honest with you guys, I love this week's episode, and I would go as far as to say that I think it's the best episode of the season thus far, because it really held an emotional stronghold in my heart. I thought it was a great episode. It was very emotional. It adapted one of my favorite scenes in the entire manga, and I think it adapted it in a perfect way. It really touched in the heartstrings, and I just loved it overall. And it once again solidified why I think Amane is such a great character in the story, and I think it really demonstrated that in this episode. Now, before I go any farther with this week's episode, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder to make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys can be up to date with all my Dress Up Darling, as well as all my anime and manga content that I'll be providing in this channel. It really helps out a lot, and I would really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you guys could, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, with all that out of the way, let's talk about this week's episode. So this week's episode starts off right where we left off, which is pretty much Gojo, Marin, and Amane. They go to this cosplay shop, and they're there to get fake breasts. And they definitely do, because you see that they're touching them like, oh my god, this looks so realistic. And then Amane is like, hey Gojo, why don't you wear it? Like, try it on. And then he puts it on, and we get this amazing scene of Gojo with boobs. At least fake boobs. But we see that pretty much Marin starts freaking out. She's like fangirling over the whole situation, and it's just very wholesome, very sweet, and also very like hilarious, obviously. And as all that is happening, we see that, you know, Amane is teaching Gojo and them about all these tricks, because there's like professional makeup there for like cosplays and stuff. And you see that Marin and Gojo, they're asking like, hey, is there any secrets? Is there any particular things that you do that only would involve you when it comes to like the makeup, since you're a guy and all? And you see that Amane is like, oh yeah, I use this like orange concealer. It's like, oh well, yeah, why is that? And you see Amane is like, oh well, you see, I got like it covers my 5 o'clock shadow. And then this is where Marin and Gojo get surprised, like, what? And then it's like, oh yeah, I forgot. Like it makes sense, right? Like, you know, you could shave as much as you want, but when it starts regrowing, it's a pain. So it makes sense that why he would wear concealer. So anybody out there, you know, write these tips down, because it might definitely help out, right? But we'll see as the episode continues that Marin and Gojo, they're talking with Amane, and Amane is talking to Gojo, and we see that they start, you know, saying like, oh, like Gojo's very surprised about this cosplay shop. It's like, oh, this is different than the Swallowtail shop that we went to, where we got the Shizuku-tan and the wigs and all that. It's like, well, yeah, those were like, you know, specific wigs. This cosplay shop is dedicated just to cosplays. We see outfits, you see wigs. It's like everything's here. Like, I actually got my outfit here. Is what Amane says. Like, yeah, I got it from here, as well as my wig, because, you know, I'm not very artistic, so I'm not good with all of this, you know, crafting and whatnot. And I totally related to that, because I buy all my cosplays. I can't make them. There is just one that I ever made like on my own, and it was like a Gans cosplay where I put the LED lights and whatnot, but that's a whole different topic. You guys can check it out on my Instagram, link down below if you guys want to see how it looks. But on a side note, continuing on, we see that pretty much as they're talking, we see that eventually there's like a group of people. They're like, hey, we want to take a picture with you, as you know, Marin kind of separates herself from Amane for a second, because her makeup cosplay tape like fell off. So she's like, oh, fix it up, Gojo. And as Gojo's doing that, that's when the people show up, and they're also from the idol game that you know, Amane is cosplaying. And we see that as you're like, oh my god, can we take a picture with you? It's like, yeah, of course. And this is where Amane is like, hey, just so you guys know, I'm a guy, all right? And we see that the girls like freak out. It's like, oh my god, we stan him. Like, we stan him so much. And they're like super happy about it. It's like, oh my, you look amazing. And then they start taking pictures, and it's just very sweet, very wholesome. They have like a whole photo shoot, because another photographer gets into it, and he starts taking pictures of them. And it's just a nice vibe overall. And after all that, we see that pretty much Gojo starts like asking like Amane is like, hey, like, how did this come about? Like, how did you learn about like wanting to like cosplay or all of this? It's like, and then Amane pretty much gives us their backstory, which is a very heartfelt backstory, which pretty much starts off where we see the reason he even got into it is because his sister they used to watch this like show where like people would, you know, wear drag, and it was like a comedy show or something. And we see that pretty much the sister was like, hey Amane, let's try it out. And it was like all playful, and Amane actually enjoyed it. He thought it was pretty fun. And the sister was like, oh, okay, here you go, a couple of like clothes that I don't wear anymore, you can wear them. And we see that Amane really started getting into it, and he really enjoyed that, like, you know, cosplaying, like, you know, in drag. And we see that eventually the mom finds out about it, and she's very supportive. And that's what one thing I did really enjoy, was that, you know, how supportive and how forward thinking the family is, because I know a lot of people out there, different circumstances, different family, different upbringings, and those people might have not had the nicest time, to say the least, when it came to something like this. So I'm very glad that Amane's family was very supportive and very, very open-minded, which I appreciated a lot. And we see that pretty much they're all cool with it. They're all supporting it. It's very sweet, very wholesome. And we see that eventually, Amane starts getting confidence, because he himself was never really confident, because girls always thought that he was too weak and not really reliable, and guys also thought so too. He was very petite, very small. So, he had a little bit of self-confidence. He had a little bit of self-doubt when it came to his own confidence and his own worth. But thanks to him, doing the cosplay, doing drag, his confidence started increasing, and eventually he started being more outspoken, more outgoing. It helped his self-esteem. And then eventually, once he got to college, a girl asked him out. She came over to his place, and as he was cooking, we see that she opened his closet and she saw all these outfits, and she starts freaking out. I was like, oh, who you living with another girl? But tell me the truth. And this is where Amane starts being like, no, these are actually mine. I cosplay that. And this is where the girl just goes what? You're weird. You shouldn't be doing that. Well, what's wrong with you? And she freaks out on him, and that really took a toll on him. And the key point to mention is that as Amane is explaining all this situation to Gojo and Marin, Gojo, you see a little bit sense of what's the word I'm looking for? Relatability. There you go. Where we see that Gojo, he's been in this situation where somebody thought, oh, your hobbies are weird. Why would you play with dolls? With non-chun. And we see that, Amane had to deal with something similar to that. And that's why a big connection between Gojo and Amane, I think, was forged after this, at least from Gojo's perspective, in my opinion. And as all that has happened, we see that, eventually Amane's yeah, it was very hard, between, finding when the chick found out about all of that. So what I did was just dump her, because she was either it's me or the cosplays. And I was like, oh, screw you. I'm going to do my cosplays. And by the way, Amane based. Yeah, that was cool. Always pursue what you want to do. So Amane does that, and that's where we get to the point we're at now, which after hearing the story, Marin breaks down. She starts crying a lot, and I don't blame her. It's a very emotional story. And you see that Marin's how could she be so rude, and she wanted you to get rid of all these cosplays, how heartless. And we see that Amane's no, it's okay, I don't even complain about it. And thanks to you guys, it makes me realize there's nice people out there, the people that took pictures with me earlier. You guys are awesome. It makes me be happy of who I am. And that was a very nice message of the episode. Just be proud of who you are. Don't let anybody play you down. Just be true to yourself always. And I thought it was great. And Gojo even hypes Amane. I was yeah, you're awesome. Don't let anybody say otherwise. And it's nice, they say goodbye. Amane eventually gets off the cosplay. They go to the station. You see Amane in his actual, how he regularly looks without the cosplay. And you see Gojo and Marin just be wow, this guy's handsome. And, Gojo's well, it's a handsome man, actually, because he's 20. So, overall, very cool. Amane, hope to see you again soon. And how the episode wraps up is that eventually they go to, Gojo goes to one of Marin's photo shoots. And this is where you see that Marin's in her full model outfit. And she's taking all these shots, and you see that Gojo is talking to one of the agents there. It's yeah, she's actually been taking a lot of gigs lately. I wonder why. And this is where Gojo has a flashback. It's oh, she wants to get that DSLR camera, the one that she hyped up in season 1. She's putting in the work to get that camera. And as the shoot ends, you see that Marin eventually comes up to Gojo. It's hey, let's go to this birthday party that we have planned. And they're okay, you go ahead. And the agent's I wonder if it's whose birthday is it, because it's not Marin's. And in shocking Marin's surprise, or should I say not shocking at all, Marin was so hectic to go to this birthday party that she was throwing herself for Chizuku-tan. And we see that eventually they go to the room. Marin's in her room, she's fangirling over Chizuku-tan. And Gojo's just what did I get myself into? How did we get to this point? And the episode just ends with that, very sweet, very awesome. Definitely the highlight of the episode was the Amane backstory. A lot of fun stuff, a lot of sweet stuff. And overall, I thought this was a fantastic episode. Definitely my favorite of the season thus far. But with all that being said, what did you guys think about this week's episode? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys thought it was alright? Whatever you guys thought, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more My Dress Up Darling, as well as more anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.